Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. Today we're going to finish up our 1/64th scale 1969 Barracuda, and then we'll be moving over to the 1/25th scale to wrap it up. So let's finish this puppy up. Today's video, we're going to finish up our 1/64th Barracuda coupe. Big shout out to Ron at Somo Diecast for finding and furnishing us with that 69 coupe. Head over to his channel, show him some love. He does some absolutely great stuff in 64th scale. Give him a like and subscribe. As I said, Ron found us our 69 Barracuda coupe. As he puts it, we got it all blown apart. We got it stripped down. We made our body modifications. We got it in primer and paint. And today we're going to be doing 3 coats of Model Car World Clear lacquer. And we're going to be letting that dry a little bit between coats and giving it a water sand. We're going to be doing the weathering on the chassis with the Tamiya weathering kits. We're going to modify the chassis for the exhaust tips just a little bit with the Dremel. And we're going to be wet sanding and buffing out that body. So let's get going. Okay guys, as you can see, our paint is done, and you can see on the hood there, nice, you can see the lights on the ceiling and the bench lights reflecting in it, and the same with the trunk there, as well as down each side. I'm very pleased with the clear coat on this. This is the MCW, the Model Car World clear coat, and as you can see, it buffed out beautifully. Now the roof, you'll notice, is still dull. I really didn't get into that after I leveled it, because we're going to do our vinyl top on it. And how we're going to do that is, as you probably know, there's the ridges that go down the centerpiece on the vinyl top. And I use one of these wrapping paper kind of things and a piece of glass. I've got an old frame that's not been used. And as you can see, other masking tape and stuff I use on here quite frequently. But I find glass is one of the best ways to cut your tape into strips and measure them. This is already cut into multiple strips down here. I don't know if you can see them all, but it's already in strips for masking as well as other things. And I've already put a piece of this tape down. I don't know if you can see it, and I've cut one strip. But the reason I'm using this kind of tape is it's got a little bit of a texture to it, which is going to go along with that vinyl roof type thing really good. And what you do is just take and get real close. I usually wear my optivisor as well, and I get really, really close. I want an ultimately super thin stripe and get right to the edge. Fresh blade, get up here and then nice and slowly make your cut. And I usually make about 2. And I've already got the piece cut that I want to do. And so I'm going to go ahead and get our car back over here. Let me put this up here. And with my tweezers, I'm going to get this little bitty thin. Don't even know if you can see that little thing, but I'm going to put it right about here where it would be on a real car, that little ridge for the vinyl roof. And I'm going to keep it as straight as possible right down there. Don't know if you can see it. I think it looks pretty good right there. And then I'm going to go over here and do the other side. And let me get a look. I'm going to eyeball it. A lot of times I measure these things on 1/25th, but this small. Now let's have a look and see if that looks... I think I like that one better as far as its location than the other side. And I'll be honest with you, since this is the first 1/64th I've done, I don't know if these little pieces of tape are going to really show up. Let's see, that looks pretty darn close to each other. Okay, well, let's get those pushed in, and I'm going to roll those right in. On each side, front and rear. Well, that one's not wanting to cooperate very well. And I may end up cutting them because, of course, they don't roll all the way in on the real vinyl roof either. I think that is about even on both sides. It looks like it to me. And you know what? I'm not going to do that. I think I'm just going to, with a fresh blade here, that should cut right off. And it did. Nice and clean. Get that off of there. And do the same thing on this side. Get that cut right off. And it came right off nice and clean too. Yeah, let's cut these off up here too. And you'll notice I'm pushing forward so it doesn't pull the tape back up, going with the direction of it. And same over here. Like I was saying, this is my first 1/64th to do any kind of detail like this on, and I don't know once, because we're painting the vinyl top on this one, and on the 1/24th we're using the kit from Model Car Garage, which will be my first time using it too, so we're going to all learn something with that one. Hopefully really good. Don't know if you can see those strips. I can barely see them, to be honest with you. But they're thin enough. Oh, you can feel them just fine. Oh, yeah. And that looks about like it's the same on both sides as far as the distance to the edge. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm kind of anal about this kind of stuff. Right there, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Wow, hey, just eyeballing it. I surprise myself sometime. Okay, well, I'm going to get this masked off for the vinyl roof, and we're going to, I think I'm going to use, I was going to use Tamiya Semi-Gloss Black, but I think I'm going to go ahead and use the Krylon, I think it's Krylon, it might be, well, went right out of my head. I'll show it to you in a minute, but it's called Semi-Flat, and it is a little bit different texture, but I really like the color, and I'll show that to you in just a minute. So let me get to it. Okay, so I was mentioning that I was going to be using the Krylon Semi-Flat for the vinyl roof, and I am very, very pleased with the way that turned out. We're going to take a look at it here, but before we get to that, I wanted to touch on something else. Now that we have the vinyl roof installed, it's time to do bare metal foil. Yeah, right. I would be committed if I tried bare metal foil on something that small. So we are going to use the Molotovs and just a regular metallic silver Sharpie, and I've already got that done. I used both the 1, 2, and 4 millimeter in the Molotovs, and guys, if you haven't used these things, they are really, really good, and for something this small, really easy to use. I used the metallic silver Sharpie along the tail end, and you know what, before I get over that, let's take a look at the car itself. As you can see, that paint, I am still just in awe over that, but check out the texture on that top. And I was really worried that those little strips of tape I put down for the vinyl roof to give it that realistic look weren't going to show up, but they actually did. But that really, the texture of that, just awesome. And that is the Molotov around the windows, all the way around, the side windows, front. I wasn't really pleased with the way the windshield wipers turned out, and I may play with that. The vents in front of or the cowl there in front of the wipers, I've used the accent liner Tamiya down in there, and that stood out. And I'll probably do that around the door jambs, things like that. And all the Molotov around the wheel wells, the chrome trim there, gas cap, and there is a black stripe that was on Amanda's that ran the length of the body down the sides, and I'll show you how I made that here in just a sec too. The taillight section, instead of doing it in chrome, because every single picture I've seen, the picture of hers and the real ones that I pulled up online, all of this back here was more of an aluminum trim. And so I went ahead and just used the Sharpie, and these things come with a pretty sharp point to them, and you just take your time and get down in there. But as you see, and that centerpiece there that is blue right now is actually supposed to be black, so I'll go back in there with a black Sharpie and fill that in. But we're going to be doing the tail lights with the All-Clad 2 transparent red. And when you're doing that, I'm going to try to film it, but that's kind of difficult to do. What you're going to do is go through your brushes, and I'm probably going to use this right here because it very much resembles a pinstriping brush, and this is just an old Model Master 000. I think it's camel hair, but it's very, very small, and as you can see, it's going to lay right down in there really nicely, and I'm going to do this real slow too. And there was something else I was going to say. Oh, the pinstriping. The pinstriping, I wanted to really closely match the vinyl roof. So, and that stripe's going to run right down through here. And the way I made that is I took some blank decal film and sprayed it with our semi-flat, so it will match. And then I got on my glass piece again and cut thin strips. That will be, and I've already checked them, and as you can see here, and there was a gap right there. They'll be spaced where the gas filler is, and as you can see, that's going to go right like that, a little higher than that, and then right along the length of the car. But it's going to match. So that's going to be a fun little thing, cutting it to all the right lengths and the spaces of the door handles and all of that stuff. That's going to be a little bit of fun, but it's really not going to be that bad. But I am very, very pleased with what we have so far. And after the tail lights are done and the decals, and I think I'll go ahead and assemble it before I put the decal on after I get the tail lights done. But I think overall, with all the chrome trim, everything really came out very, very nicely. Got a little bit of chrome yet to go on the windows, because as you can see, let me go ahead and take this off a minute. As you can see, when the windows are installed, you've got the back window, and there was a little silver strip that runs right there at that back window, and the vent window up front, there'll be a little strip right there. So we'll add that with the Molotov, and I think that's going to look really, really good. Well, let's get started on this stuff, and we'll be back. A quick look back at where we started, and here it is, our 1969 Plymouth Barracuda coupe in blue fire metallic with the vinyl top and striping just like Amanda had back in high school, her all-time favorite car. And once again, a big shout out to Ron at Somo Diecast for again finding and getting to us the Barracuda coupe. As you can see, those tailpipes sticking out there. I'm really pleased with the way the paint turned out, the vinyl top. I hope our 125th turns out like this. Looks really good to me anyway. I think Amanda's going to take possession of this one and hold it ransom until I get her 25th finished for her desk. But this one is going to go by her picture on my desk. And again, I'm very pleased with it overall. It's been a little bit of work, and I'm just very, very tickled. I love the grill, the wash up in there, and the turn signals. The interior, which you really can't see as well as I thought, but hey, it's right anyway. Every part of it was a lot of fun, and I will be doing another 1/64th scale. This was fun. So it may be one of those kind of get the funk out of your head when you're trying to build, to clear your mind a little bit. I have something I usually do, but this may take over that. But it's really been a lot of fun. In fact, I've got a couple other ones in the pond water stripping right now that are just ideas, and we'll see how that goes. But overall, very pleased with it. And again, I hope the 125th turns out as well. So that's our focus now, is the 125th version of this same car. And of course, it'll be displayed a little bit differently, but I am just super proud of the way this one turned out thus far. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember to click and subscribe, and I'm all tongue-tied now. Subscribe and give a like and give a comment on what you think. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Wow. Wow, this is great. Honey, I finally did it. I finally have enough models. Ah! No! Never have this nightmare. Subscribe to the HobbyDude 007 channel now, where there's always room for more models. Thank you for your support.